Hey there, welcome to day 1248 of What's You Up To Now. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, documenting my journey in black and white apparently today. As I transition from the brick and mortar corporate world of business to the online world, and a little bit back and forth in as we go into the 2020s. 2020 threw many people for a curve, and so it was a great year to take a step back and say, okay, what do I really want to focus on? What do I really want to do? And today, our idiom for our annual challenge for not Supersize Your Business, was about relaxed talent and relaxing into the things that we love and are good at. Okay, this is really a creepy filter on Facebook. I think that I might have to switch back and away from my the way and the page that I actually record this on, because it's super duper frustrating. Obviously freezes, makes my head giant, obviously this one's got like fake eyelashes on it, and so it's moving them all around my face, which is kind of actually humorous. Look, I can put them down there on my cheeks. I can put them up as eyebrows, cool eyebrows. I'm having way too much fun with this. Okay, so we want to relax into our talent and the things that we are good at. That was our topic for our annual challenge, which is to do one thing every day that centers us. From a little journal book that I got at the cabin last summer. It's the 4th year in a row that I've done an annual challenge. I just pick something and I focus on it for the entire year. And I don't focus and spend all my time on it. I just do one small thing every single day to focus on that annual challenge, that goal, that objective for the year. This year, it's all about getting to know what works for me, what doesn't, what's at the center and the core of my being. What do I really want? What makes me tick? What's important to me? And I share that every day. There's a saying or an activity or a challenge, and it's just a little tiny thing that we do every day, but sometimes it'll be something that I look at and I think about in the morning, and it'll pop up several times during the day. So even though it's not a huge time commitment or effort required, I guarantee that at the end of the year, I guarantee that here in almost the middle of the year, I am much more centered and focused and calm and relaxed and just true to myself than I was at the beginning of the year, and at the end of the year, I'll be even more so. I think that an annual challenge is a really easy way to commit to continuous improvement by doing one little thing every single day that moves us toward what it is that we want. And today was about relaxed talent. So I'm relaxing into discover what it is that I really love to do, what I really love, and how I really love to contribute here on the planet for the remainder of my life. What do I want to do? How do I want to show up? What do I want to become? What more do I want to learn and do and have and be and experience? Things like that. Our idiom for today for Supersize Your Business was to cuddle up with a good book. Now, I found this idiom, I love cuddling up with a good book. I've always got a cozy blanket, and sometimes I've got a little friend right along with me to snuggle and sit by me when I'm reading a good book. Even being visually challenged, I think it's important to read. I got the love of reading from both my parents when I was young, and tried to instill that in my children as well. I think that it's one of the most amazing, fun, easy, least expensive ways to learn, grow, experience other people's point of view, experience and learn from other people, or just go on a journey or travel the world by reading. So I was frustrated that there's no origin of this particular idiom. I mean, I suspect people have been cuddling up with good books since books actually became available and were bound. And prior to that, people were actually cuddling up with the good book, the Bible. And so it's mind-boggling to me that in this day and age of the internet, and it's funny that I'm saying this because I grew up in the days when you had to go to the library if you wanted to find any information about anything or find a book. Now, it's at our fingertips with the computers and the internet and our cell phones being actually computers in and of themselves. We have access to so much information that it seems mind-boggling that there isn't a way to find out, okay, when did each of these sayings or idioms actually come into being? What's the origin of them? I can always find out what they mean. You know, cuddling up with a good book is just getting cozy and comfortable and sitting down somewhere or with something or someone, and just snuggling in a cozy, comfortable, usually with a pillow or a blanket place, and enjoy a book on what good. Remember, good is defined by you. You get to decide what good is. So we're cuddling up with a good book, we're relaxing into our talent today, or I am, and hanging out with my granddaughters, which is always fun and educational, and I get to cuddle up with them and read them good books to instill the love of reading in them while they're young, because once you acquire a habit like reading and loving reading and gaining access to information that you wouldn't maybe otherwise have access to, it's kind of intoxicating to realize that you can learn anything you want. I mean, none of us are born knowing how to do anything, right? We figure everything out while we're here experiencing this life. So that is all I've got today. Go out, make it an awesome day. If I can help you in any way, if you've got a question and you don't know who to ask, hit me up in the comments below or direct message me. I always say I might not know the answer, but I guarantee you know the answer of the next step for you. But I can help you get to the person, place, resource. Maybe it's a book, maybe it's a person, maybe it's an introduction that will help you take the next step so that you never feel stuck. I remember when I first came online, one of the most frustrating things was like, I was out of my element. I didn't know anything about the internet, and I had to figure out who were the resources, where were the resources. You know, you can always Google things, but Google doesn't always have the answer that you need or want. Same with YouTube or anything. I mean, YouTube has exploded in the years since I've been online. Now you can pretty much go on YouTube or on another site or on Google or on one of the search engines and ask any question and get an answer. Now, bear in mind, we need to think for ourselves, because the answers that we get are filtered by someone else or some machine or AI learning device that has a different reason for showing you the results and the answers to your question in the order that you get. One thing this doing an idiom every day has taught me, for like, I'm sure I'm up to 1,000 idioms now, has taught me is that the results that you get don't necessarily make sense, and they're being presented now, especially in the last couple of years, they're being presented in a way that makes sense to the algorithms or the computer or the company that's showing you the results. They're filtered for their reasons, not for your personal reasons or objectives. So you might have to dig deep down into those results. You know, if a million results come up in under a minute or in a few seconds, then you know that the information's there. It just might take you a while to get to it. Or you might have to refine your searches to get to the exact information you want more carefully. I still have not been able to find the origin of a couple of the idioms that I've worked on, which is really frustrating. But I'll figure out a way and how to ask and who to ask and where to research to actually dig to the origin of some of these, because I want to know. It's just curious. I'm just curious. Where do they come from? Why do we use these expressions? Some of them are just plain goofy. And I've got to believe if your English isn't your first language and you're learning and you're hearing these idioms that people use all the time. It's 25,000. There's probably more now and being added to all the time. Idioms just in the English language. So think of how many idioms there probably are globally that people use, and how it's really one of the, I think, more challenging parts of learning a language and learning to understand people and communicate with them. Thus, that's why I look into them every day. It's kind of like improv for me, or practicing creatively tying things that might not be related to my business to business, so that I find how other people might think, because everybody doesn't think about our business the same way we do. All right, have an awesome day. I'll be with you tomorrow.